The 2022 Heisman Trophy ceremony included 4 star-studded finalists. From a sophomore winner to 3 QBs ready to lead their teams in the playoff, the event delivered some of the biggest names in college football.
Coming off a national championship, Stetson Bennett becomes the first Georgia Heisman finalist in 3 decades. Bennett had a long journey to get to where he is now. He started his career as a walk-on at Georgia before leaving after his freshman year to become the starting quarterback of Jones County College. He was offered a scholarship to return to Georgia. Bennett during the regular season threw for 3,465 yards and 20 touchdowns to only 6 interceptions. Bennett was the oldest Heisman finalist and one of the oldest finalists ever. However, his maturity was definitely one of the things that set him apart. While Bennett finished 4th in the Heisman voting this year, he very well may get the last laugh. Bennett's Bulldogs have been the best team in the nation all year long and will look to repeat as national champions for the first time since Alabama did it in 2011 and 2012.
After being a Heisman finalist last year, C.J. Stroud came into this season as the favorite to take home the award. He started the year on fire, showcasing his pocket awareness, maturity, and accuracy that led him to a massive 28 touchdowns in his first 7 games, including 6 against Michigan State. In such a demanding Heisman race, just a few bad games against Northwestern and Michigan costed him the trophy. Although he finished 3rd in the voting, CJ talked about how much tougher this year was and the pride he takes in the season he had for his team.
I think something I was talking to my cousins and my mom and sister and brother were about was just the journey to get here is kind of more enjoyable than the moment when you're here. But they kind of questioned me on that and told me I have to enjoy this. And of course I want to go back and get going on Georgia and get that ball rolling. But man, I'm really appreciative to be here. The journey was very hard. I mean, I think this time going around was harder than last time just because I wasn't a surprise to anybody and defenses were trying to stop me. So I definitely think that it was very hard working to get here, so I'm very happy.
Despite not winning the award, CJ became the first Ohio State Buckeye to be a 2-time Heisman finalist. Being just short of the illustrious trophy will surely motivate him in his matchup with number 1 Georgia in the playoff semifinal. It will also motivate him right into the NFL draft, where he's projected to be a top 5 pick. It is certainly not the last we have heard from C.J. Stroud.
Coming to the season, Max Duggan was not the established starting quarterback at TCU, sitting behind freshman Chandler Morris. After Morris got injured against Colorado in the season opener, Duggan took the job and never looked back, throwing for 390 yards and 5 touchdowns against Tarleton and taking the starting job for good. Duggan fought tooth and nail every week to prove that TCU was the real deal, shocking the nation by going 12-1 and leading the Horned Frogs to a college football playoff spot. The miracle story that started with a major heart surgery to combat Wolff-Parkinson-White syndrome in 2020 led to a magical season where Duggan finished 2nd in Heisman voting, accounting for 3,725 total yards and 36 total touchdowns. I talked to Duggan about his journey to get here and what advice he would give to someone in a similar situation.
Yeah, just continue to fight and believe in yourself. I think adversity, competition, everything that you fail in is going to really help you. Don't shy away from it because it's only going to build you up more and more. And I think that goes with anything. Just continuing to believe in yourself, continue to get back up, and just keep going to work every day because you know it's eventually going to turn out.
Although Duggan did not win the Heisman, he became the first TCU candidate since LaDainian Tomlinson in 2000. Duggan took the path less traveled to get to New York City, and it's not the last we'll see from the Iowa native. You'll get to see Duggan lead the Horned Frogs in the Fiesta Bowl against second-ranked Michigan on New Year's Eve, and if it's anything like the past 13 games, we're going to see Duggan turn his game up to new heights under the bright lights.
The most dynamic player in all of college football this season was Caleb Williams, making play after play that no one thought was possible. While Williams had a magical season his freshman year, it was not clear where he was going to play football this year. He was a 5-star recruit out of high school and committed to play for Lincoln Riley at Oklahoma. Halfway through the season, Williams took over the starting job for another 5-star recruit in Spencer Rattler. Caleb balled out in his games, throwing for almost 2,000 yards and 21 touchdowns. When Riley left, there was some controversy as to if Williams would follow him to USC. Caleb arrived at USC and instantly made a world of difference to a team that had not won a bowl game since 2016.
You're Coach Riley's 3rd Heisman candidate or Heisman winner. Is he better at recruiting or coaching?
He does a really good job of recruiting, but obviously his coaching, I wouldn't be here without it. So if that was the case, and I was, the same player as last year, I would have been here last year, and I wasn't. And so being here this year shows how much improvement that I've had and how much he's been a part of it along my journey so far in 2 years. But he does recruit pretty good players, so that when things that aren't going right or don't go right, he has good players on his team to help him out or help the team out to make the play better or anything like that.
Williams led the Trojans to an 11-2 record, with their only 2 losses coming to the hands of Utah. Caleb was amazing the entire year, throwing for 4,075 yards and 37 touchdowns, while also adding 10 touchdowns on the ground to lead the nation in total touchdowns. He became just the 6th sophomore to win the award and the 8th player from Southern California.
You're now the 8th Heisman winner in USC history. What does it feel to you, and what does it mean to you to join the brotherhood of Trojan Heisman winners?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I hang around them all the time. They're at USC or even here today, and just kind of talking to them, the experience. It's a blessing. The craziest part to me is that the guys that I was talking to, the Heisman winners, in the past. The craziest part to me is that they all have their jerseys retired, and now once I leave USC, it's probably the coolest thing to me. Is that my jersey will be retired, so it's really cool.
Williams will have a chance to repeat as Heisman next year, as he hopes to lead USC to the college football playoffs for the first time since they were introduced.
There was not a more deserving winner of the Heisman Trophy this year, as Caleb Williams showed maturity, poise, and leadership on the podium. His victory capped an amazing night for all 4 finalists, who have bright futures ahead.
Signing off, I'm Sam Davis.
I'm Danny Scott.
And I'm Tyler Hill.
With WFUV Sports.